Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Our God is awesome. The world is full of iconic figures. The people praise him. They stock us up at a high percentage. The giants in our eyes. The sky's the limit. The picture painted is larger than life, but God is bigger. Your God is greater. I weigh them on the scale like Crocs and Gators. Found that only God can save us. And God is gracious. That's who we flock to in the day of trouble. And when we blow it like hot food. The song's official. Nobody's greater for Shawn Mitchell. You got it right with that song. It echoes the heart of scripture. Yeah, they wonder why we so serious. It's cause Jesus Christ is also man, period.
Okay, my Jesus, the Son, Christ, the King of Kings, and he's God on earth. My Messiah, born and raised to give us all a second birth. And from heaven he came down to free all that were bound. Oh God, the 4 and 20 fell down, casting down their crowns, saying, thou art worthy, Lord, to receive glory, honor, and power. So every man, woman, boy, and girl, let's make this declaration around the world.
He's mighty, he's mighty, he's mighty, awesome. Come on and lift your voice and testify. Come on and say, he's holy, he's holy, he's holy, he's holy, awesome. Come on and lift your voice and say, come on and say, he's great, he's great, he's great, he's great, awesome. Hallelujah. Come on and say, come on and say, deliverer, 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 deliverer. Come on and say, come on and lift your voice if you believe it. Say, somebody lift your voice and say, provider, 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 awesome. Hallelujah, lift your voice. Somebody let him know, protector, protector. Has he looked out for you? Protector, awesome. Everybody say awesome. Let's get out of here.
My God is awesome. He can move mountains, keep me in the valley, hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm broken, strength when I've been weak. Praise his holy name.
Hey, I'm closing chapters, I'm turning pages, glory to glory, and from faith to faith, I'm moving on, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'm getting older, so I'll keep it straight. It hurts to let go, but it hurts more to stay. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Hey, I'm moving on. Hey, 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 hey. I know my rear view can't compare to what God will do with my life. I am forgetting what's behind me. I have finally decided I'll be moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
My mother told me, she taught me well.
forget your failures and forgive yourself for moving on.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Hey, 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 hey.
I know my review can't compare to what God will do with my life. And I am forgetting what's behind me. I am finally decided. I know my review can't compare to what God will do in my life. And now I'm forgetting what's behind me. I am finally decided. I'll be moving on. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey, hey. I'm moving on.
Know that I will be. Know I will.
Forgetting what's behind me, focusing on what's inside me.
Christ ahead and I'm just in this body. Never would have loved this body. I pride myself on bringing light to your parties. Holy Ghost, you rectify the mind, I'm naughty. Without you, it's powder, I'm a dry land. Without your power, I'm a nightmare. Nothing but trouble saying bye, man. Can't have too much on a diamond. My brother called me, I could cry, man. Told me we moving, I'm in God's hands. Yeah. Told me we moving, I'm in God's hands.
Bring my moving truck.
Gotta go.
Told me we moving, I'm in God's hands. Told me we moving, I'm in God's hands. Told me we moving, I'm in God's hands.
Hey everybody, this is Dottie Peoples. When I was hit by a tractor trailer on 285, I immediately called 1-800-INJURED, the Bethune Law Firm. And attorney Terrence Bethune said, "Don't worry, Dottie, I got this. If you're ever in a car accident, call 1-800-INJURED, Bethune Law Firm, and they'll tell you too. Oh!
This is Attorney Bethune of Bethune Law Firm. For over 25 years, my law firm has been helping injured victims in matters of wrongful death, tractor-trailer accidents, and car accidents. We're conveniently located at 2357 Pine Ono Avenue. Remember, after a car wreck, call 1-800-INJURED, the Bethune Law Firm, to get you a big check.
True Essential Service LLC. Clients will have an individualized care plan, which may include one or more of the following services: professional nursing services, certified nursing assistants, companion care, respite for family caregivers, benefits in choosing home care, consistent care available hourly, daily, weekly, or intermittently, allows your loved one to stay at home as opposed to being forced to put a loved one in a nursing facility, and is affordable. For more details, call 478-221-3434 today. Let the hiring begin. Wade's Auto Detail is now hiring for all positions. The team is expanding with you in mind. They're hiring drivers, experienced auto detailers, and office administration. Wade's Auto Detail team is looking for dependable and mature employees. The place where there is no job too hard. Call now, 478-320-8631. That's 478-320-8631. Tell them you heard it on 980 AM WDDO and get interviewed on the spot. Apply in person today at 3076 Napier Avenue. That's 3076 Napier Avenue in Macon. Or email them at wadeharden@yahoo.com. It's hiring time at Wade's Auto Detail. It's bigger and better. The largest radio family show in Macon, Georgia. It's where we live, love, and laugh. It's the Drive Time Show with Vertice Z-Rozier and the Drive Time family. Be sure to join us every weekday morning at 7:15 through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300 EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the
Online, historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda.
Well, for sure, if you're watching, you know that Brenda Sutton is not in your picture. We would just like to say hello and good evening to everyone. Welcome to the All of a Sudden Show. And Brenda is not here today. She went to the dentist. And I would like for everybody to join me in prayer, not because she went to the dentist, but because I imagine she can't do very much talking because she went to the dentist. And we all know she's quite miserable. Welcome once again to the All of a Sudden Show. Brenda Sutton and Emily Amos are not here today. I do miss them very much. And we're going to be doing good stuff today. We're going to be talking, interacting with you. Remember, our number is 478-250-1444. And we're going to be expecting a call and a Zoom in from Storytellers Macon. Karen Young and DeMarcus Beckham is going to join us very shortly. And we're going to have a good time. Yeah, we're here, and tell you what, I think that we have Karen and DeMarcus already joining us, and we love there they are. How's it going, DeMarcus?
It's going well. How about you?
Doing just great. Listen, I got to do my ceremonial hat change. So when I come in to do the radio show, you know, I wear my cowboy hat all the time. So here, my microphones won't do too well with the my cowboy hat won't do too well with the mic. So drum roll, please.
Oh,
the changing of the hats. Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Cool beans. Okay, listen, we're just so honored and happy that we are able to get you guys on today. And it's a very timely interview for us to have, because we do know that there's a great event coming up at the Douglas Theater. And but before we get into the Douglas Theater, can you give us a little background about Storytellers?
Oh, so Storytellers Macon started, I believe, in 2014. And it's been handed down. I'm actually the third person to be sort of tasked with and lovingly I'm able to sort of help it grow and do these amazing things. So I took it on in about 2016 maybe. And so it was just this fun event that we did in local establishments where we pick a theme and we talk on that theme, and then we let people sign up to tell a story on that theme. And that has been, it just tapped, it was at Roasted, and now we have found a home at Grant's Lounge. And so we do this every second Tuesday of the month. We have a featured storyteller. Our topics change every month. And it's about 2 hours of just people telling stories, real life stories based on the topic. So our last one was Guilty, and we have one in December called Who's Coming to Dinner. So it just gives you a good idea of like the range of what we do. And so last year, 2020, I was gifted a non-profit called Pulse, the Heartbeat of Macon. And so Storytellers Macon now lives under that 501c3. And so we're able to ask for grants. We're able to raise money. We're able to have more heightened experiences with workshops. And that also leads us to these live curated events, which we had over COVID. We had 4 at the Grand Opera House, and then the Douglas Theater invited us to do it there. So we'll be doing it there this Friday, and then again in February.
Awesome. Just want to, as a sidebar, you said it was Who's Coming to Dinner?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just I travel. I do theater, and we've begun a national tour again, and we just did a show down in Jacksonville. And the reason I'm talking, I was telling one of my castmates that I think that one of the greatest movies ever made about race relations. Guess who's coming to dinner with Sidney Poitier and Spencer Tracy? And he was so on fire. He said, "I got to immediately go and watch that movie." So, but then I suggest that everybody watch that movie. I saw it as a child and didn't really get it, and I revisited it as an adult. That is one great movie. So that was a sidebar. You made me think about it. You know?
No. I think it's great.
That's the idea.
I think this event is obviously it's the 100th anniversary of the Douglas Theater.
Absolutely.
That is a blessing that's around, and we have this amazing event where we're focusing on Black voices.
Sure.
For oftentimes, I think here in Macon, our Black history or our Black voices gets lost.
Sure.
And I think there's an opportunity. We have amazing activists. We have judges. We have therapists who are going to be on the stage expressing stories. And I think in every story that I've heard so far in this creative event, everybody's going to be able to take something away.
Sure.
And that's the power of storytelling. I think I grew up, around the kitchen table with my grandma. And I would listen of stories of her youth and her growth, and without knowing, it strengthened my ability to tell stories. And I think this is something where you can bring everybody a part of the family, and take something away. And I think people will learn that their power, their experience has some weight.
Absolutely.
So I'm very excited to be a part of this process and hosting with Ms. Booker. I'm so excited. And we have a great list of people who are going to be a part of it this season.
Yeah. So on Friday at the Douglas, the topic is stirring the pot. And so
Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot. And so we chose the cast from a workshop that we did in August with Story Muse, a beautiful storyteller, Shannon Turner. And so because we were being intentional about we didn't want people to just pick people from the community like we had in the past. So we wanted to pick storytellers that were interested in storytelling. So we picked from the cast, and the cast is actually the ones that picked the topic stirring the pot, which is right, like talk about food, talk about stirring the pot politically, talk about stirring the pot in your lives, in your activism, whatever it is. And so we have Gloria Cisse. We have
Brenda Sutton-Williams. Yes, she's going to be amazing. Sham. And we have a few others.
One more.
Oh, God. Name escapes me. But like I said, everybody who's a part of it is going to be amazing.
Oh gosh, Rhonda Miller.
Oh my God.
How did our brain stop?
Okay, yes. She's going to bring a great sunshine to the show.
And it's going to be hosted by Ansley Booker and DeMarcus Beckham.
So,
but today, one of our storytellers, he had a family emergency, and so he had to head on out. We got to let him take care of family first.
Yes.
And so I called Johnny Holingshed today, and he agreed to be one of our featured storytellers on Friday. So he's joining us.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited.
I certainly am appreciative of the opportunity. Yeah, I am, and I am so encouraged that you all are being more illuminated, because I've gone to experience storytelling, and I know the importance of it, and it is such an important. Some people. This is we live in the Bible Belt, and storytelling is another form of testimony in my mind, and so it's just such a wonderful, wonderful way to release and for people to learn. And it's so. You were mentioning DeMarcus about some of these undiscussed gems that we have here in this city. And when you said that, I was thinking about, nobody ever really talks about Alan Evans, one of the greatest opera singers ever on the planet, and from Macon, Georgia. And Macon, Georgia, in my mind, just doesn't illuminate this wonderful, wonderful vocalist enough. And so through storytelling and what you guys do, it gives an opportunity for those to bring these people to life and to the forefront of people's mind, with facts like, hey, this is real. So we can't begin to tell you how important Macon storytellers are. And we just like for you right now, just go ahead and expound on some of the different thoughts that you guys are having and moving forward.
Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to tell, always, if you want more information about Storytellers Making, you can follow us on our social media, our Facebooks, our Instagrams, the Twitter, Making Storytellers. So look out for that.
Storytellers Making.
Oh, sorry.
Storytellers Making.
But yeah, follow that to get updates on upcoming events and more details about this upcoming weekends.
Oh yeah, and you can find the event at storytellersmaking.org. You can also find it on our Facebook page, Storytellers Making, and there is an event page attached to the Douglas Theater. So it's pretty easy to find out. You can also just go and buy tickets there. You can buy tickets the night of, but Johnny, I don't think you remember. Well, you might remember is you were at some of the first storytellers at Grant's Lounge. You were just there. I never got you on my stage, but now I'm getting you on my stage. So
yeah.
But you saw where we came from and now where we're at, which is kind of fun that you actually are part of the, you understand the inception and what, we were just like this little event that people kind of came to, but now it's like, we're letting people speak their truth to the best that, the best way we can. And you are definitely a part of that, right?
But thank you. But surely storytelling is an irresistible force. And it is what has carried history throughout time, because people didn't always have a tablet or a computer or ink pen. So, you know what I mean? A piece of crayon to write things. So storytelling is truly our first way of recording history. And it is just so important. And my God, I am so looking forward to this event at the Douglas, and how apropos that it's during the 100-year anniversary.
Right.
And
how lucky are we that we get to work with the Douglas Theater? They're allowing us to do this amazing thing, and their 100-year anniversary is so incredible.
Yeah, well, God never makes mistakes, and this is clandestine, because there is nobody. The only thing you can do with me is love the Douglas as much as me.
Yes.
You can't love the Douglas more than me. I think it's impossible because of the history that I know about the Douglas Theater and my personal experience of having worked there as the artistic director of the Douglas Theater at one point. So, and it is such an important place. And Mr. Douglas was such a maverick and had such foresight. Man, that guy was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone who hasn't been there since the renewal, it is a beautiful building.
Oh yeah,
man. I mean, think about the use that we're, the ability of being used nowadays. I mean, it's been in films and television.
Absolutely.
Theater making is a part of our history. It's amazing.
It is. We just, I'm tickled pink to have you guys on. And usually I try to do a whole lot of talking, but I just want you to go again. And for those who are not familiar with Storytellers Making, just give us some more information about you.
So the best way to reach us is through storytellersmaking.org. But also please like us on our Facebook page. We have every single month If you follow us, you'll see what our topic is, who our featured storytellers are at the at Grant's Lounge. You'll see upcoming events like you'll see at the Douglas Theater for the 100-year anniversary. And basically, those are the best ways to get in touch with us. We are always looking for featured storytellers for our grassroots event. And you basically bookend the evening. We're always looking to partner with organizations, local organizations of any kind. So some recent organizations that we partnered with is Making Periods Easier, Brag Jam, Soapbox Derby, obviously the Douglas Theater. So there's always an opportunity to participate. We are always having workshops. So that's our main goal, is to how do we bring the art of storytelling to different communities? How do we hear all the voices? What voices do we need to hear? What ideas do we need to bring to the conversation? And really, it's just a time for people to speak their truth. That is the most important thing. So as we progress and as we get bigger and as we keep moving through our lovely town of Macon, Georgia, it also goes further than that. We hope people hear our voices outside of our bubble, outside of where we're at. And so we'd love for you to join us, and it's always a fun night for a grassroots show. It's always a fun night when we do curated shows at the Douglas Theater or anywhere else. So please join us for any of it.
That is just so awesome. It is certainly it results in a quilt. It results in all of these different stories coming together and joining one another, and then they cover. They cover everything, and they bring warmth, and they bring completion, because the puzzle is never complete without all the parts. And they're just, it's such a great, the idea, and let me just say, while I'm thinking about it, you said you were the third person to head storytellers. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm number 3. I will say that when, while I'm number 3, right? So it's gone from, this to this, but I also am nothing without my board. I'm nothing without the people that help me do and spread the word and just expand it. Just a Marcus coming in, being a host, or he's been helping me mentor some of our storytellers. All of the mentors that come in to help hone stories. You're only as good as your weakest link, and I don't have any weak links. So.
Oh gosh, it's so sweet.
I don't blow smoke up anyone. I don't courtesy say things.
Oh God.
Now, I'm a witness to that. She does. and I just wanted to say that there's a long time saying that the third time is the charm.
Oh, thank you.
Oh. Well,
and I don't blow smoke either,
Right, yeah, that's the end of it, right? Without, it really takes a village to do a project like this.
Absolutely.
Work with an organization like this, yeah.
That is so very true. And if more of us would take that attitude that it is not a me thing, but somebody has to be up front.
Right. It's an us thing, right? It belongs to us.
There always has to be a sacrificial lamb, right? But it is certainly community. And I came by on Riverside one night, and I saw the ease in which you guys work together. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. It operates as one, and I just want people to know that you guys are here, that you guys are certainly needed. It is such a great release in today's world.
I do want to mention that the reason you came and saw us on Riverside is to join us for our podcast, which comes from the live shows.
Yeah.
So you had come for our podcast because we were highlighting already the Douglas Theater in one of the songs. But all of them, all of these live shows, they end up on the podcast, The Heartbeat of Georgia. So please look for that. There's already 6 or 7 episodes, or 7 or 8 episodes, and they all highlight people who've been on the main stage.
So again, let all of our viewers and listeners know, how do they get to that podcast?
Yeah. So, okay. So I am like the last person after that.
No. Well,
But it's on like Spotify, Apple.
Apple Music. I listen to it on Spotify.
There you go.
On the SoundCloud, and then a few others. But
You can find it on our website too.
Yes.
You can find all of our stories on the website. But the podcast is one of our when the Grand Opera House came to me to say they wanted us to do an elevated show, curated show at the Grand Opera House. And then they said, "Oh, we'd also like to help you make this a podcast." And then they kept talking, and I was like, "Okay, you need to stop talking now because that's literally living the dream, right?" I know it's going to be like out in the universe and people can hear it from anywhere. Yes, let's do that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, how did your relationship develop with Grant's Lounge? Because that's another place that I'm endeared to, and I know, and this is an opportunity again to show how varied the programming is at Historic Grant's Lounge, because it is certainly a treasure of our city. Grant's Lounge is in the midst of celebrating 50 years of being. So if you can tell a little bit about that relationship, how it developed, and you've maintained that with Ed Grant Jr. and Cheryl Grant Louder.
Yeah.
Just the greatest people, right? So I was homeless is what happened. and I say that in the nicest of ways, right? So I started when I inherited Storytellers. I didn't have a home, and so I started at Just Tapped, and basically Just Tapped grew out of us, right? They got busier and bigger, and that's not a great environment to host a storytelling event. And then we headed over to Roasted, Nick Rixala Roasted, and that was a wonderful space. But as things go, he sold Roasted, and then I was just in a place where I was looking for a home, and somebody sort of did a little boop boop, and I was like, there it is. I need to call Ed, and I called Ed and Cheryl, and within a week they welcomed us with open arms. And they set up the stage, and at the time they weren't open on Tuesday nights, and they opened just for us on the second Tuesday of the month.
That is something else.
Right? And brought in bartenders and did all the thing, and before you knew it, we were 50 or 60 people deep. We had these amazing featured storytellers. But they also sponsored us. I did a little radio show on the Creek, 100.9. I did a little storytelling show for a few months, and then they hosted that. They paid for that. But through, I've been with them for about 4 or 5 years. I don't know exactly the date I started there. And now, obviously Grant's been on the main stage at the Grand Opera House. And if I ask, Grant and Cheryl have always been warm and welcoming, and how can we help storytellers make and just be as amazing as it can be. And then when they sold, well, they didn't really sell it totally, like they're still involved, but now Moonhanger is sort of the overarching company, and we were grandfathered in, and so they talked about how important storytellers is, and so Hubble, who is now in charge of Grant's Lounge, he's the same way. Oh, somebody's trying to get me.
Yeah, somebody's ringing your bell.
We have a board meeting coming up, so we're actually headed into a board meeting at 6:00.
Awesome.
But my love for Grant's Lounge is immense, and we do call it our home. Grant's Lounge is our home, and pandemic really threw that off, and really, it was really hard. We ended up at Startup Studios, which was great, and Startup Studios sort of set a stage outside in their back parking lot. But I will say that returning home has just been the greatest.
That is so awesome. Just connecting communities. If you will, can you share a little bit about your personal background, where you're from?
Sure. So I'm originally from Southern California, and I lived there until I was 20 years old, and then I lived.
So wait a minute. So is there a city called Southern California?
Well, San Dimas, California. It's it's where the 10, 210, and 57 meet. It's right on the edge of San Bernardino County. So I grew up in LA County, but really we were like the 909 area code. It was like.
So you got to be specific because you might have some people here in the city.
Right, I don't know. Yeah. And then
girl, I lived around the block from you.
It could be. I would love that. And then I lived in Staten Island, New York for 13 years, from 1990 to 2008. And I met a lovely gentleman, Nathan Dees, who inspired me. Yeah, he inspired me to move to Macon. So we were dating back and forth, and one of us had to move if we were going to make it work, and so I did. And then he brought me to Macon, and at first I was resistant. I won't lie. I was suspect. People were waiting. Hello, I came from New York. I was, people were waiting. Hello. I was like, wow, you don't know me. But really, it's just people are acknowledging your existence.
They are. It's the Southern gentleness. I'm from Pike County, Georgia. Zebulon, Georgia. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from Macon. I grew up in a small farming community where we had more horses and cows than people.
Okay.
It was good living, and I grew up around a very supportive family and farming family. And I came to Macon for education 8 years ago. Got my dual degree in history and political science from Middle Georgia State University. Go Knights! And now I'm here getting the opportunity to. It's been truly a blessing moving here into the city and being welcomed into a community where, I'm not originally from, but I used to come to Macon as a child, and I thought it was Las Vegas. And to see the city now in its regenerated glory, I'm very excited to be a part of that process and the change around here in this fair city.
Well, we certainly welcome both of you, and you are no longer visitors. You are Maconites.
I don't know. I've been told you never get to be a Maconite.
Yeah.
Hey, DeMarcus.
I love Macon.
Yeah.
Macon,
DeMarcus.
Macon became my home. I just
Awesome.
here.
Hey, DeMarcus, I do know a little bit about my folks. My parents' people are from Crawford County. My dad's people and my mom's people are from Washington County, Sandersville. So, like almost every weekend, we would go to my grandma's house and grandfather's house out in Crawford County. And you know a little bit about country living because she would say, "Do you boys want some eggs this morning breakfast?" And we said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, go out there and move those chickens and get the eggs." So I can relate, brother. But that's best. The older I get, the more I want to return to that kind of living. And Lord knows, you don't know what they're putting in food these days. And the only way you know is to grow it. So we're just so very thankful for Pike County in the house.
Pike County in the house. Go Pike.
Yeah, and the entirety of Southern California. So we're just excited about storytellers. We're excited about the event that's going to be upcoming at the Douglas Theater. We're excited about your home base that you have. And please alert people again to that address and their accessibility to it for me.
So it's Grant's Lounge. We come together every second Tuesday of the month. So the next one I believe is the 9th, which is next Tuesday. Our featured storyteller is Olivia, and honestly, I cannot remember her topic. But we do socials at 6:30, and we start promptly at 7. It's such an easy night. Again, Grant's Lounge is closed on the second Tuesday of the month, but they open up for us, which is a legacy that I just absolutely adore. But please, if you cannot make it on Friday, this upcoming Friday at the Douglas Theater, tickets are $10 there. If you cannot make it there, always our grassroots event at Grant's Lounge, the second Tuesday of the month, is always free and open to the public. We do socials at 6:30. We start promptly at 7, and we'd love to see anybody there. You are more than welcome. Oh, also, I want to say this. When you come to Grant's Lounge, you don't have to tell a story. You can tell a story, but storytellers are always welcome. And you can even be like in the middle of the evening and be like, I have a story. You just sign up and you can tell a 5-minute story, and that's it. Yeah, it's just a nice night.
It's a really great night. I've been to a couple. They've been very inspiring.
Yeah, I've been to several, and believe me, once you go and you really see in actuality what it is, because it's kind of confusing but once you go and get the actuality of it, it's kind of hard to stay away. Yeah.
Well, I would love to see you next Tuesday, Johnny.
I just talked myself right into being there Tuesday, right, DeMarcus? I'll be there.
It really is a nice night, and you know what the idea is that not every story has to be exactly perfect, right? Like you don't you know the topic before a little bit, or you might even just know the topic when you get there. And again, you don't have to tell a story, but if you're inspired to tell a story, you should feel like it's a safe space, that your voice should be heard. You should have the opportunity to speak your truth. I've never had to stop a story, but if I were to stop a story, it would only be for hate speech or something awful. But really, we don't censor stories. It can run the gambit, right? Like the idea is that you can speak on a topic and your truth, and just talk about what it is, and that is what it is it's supposed to be a safe space, and it's supposed to be a nice event for people to come to.
Wow, listen.
Oh, I talked a lot.
but that's good. So I know you guys have got to go to your board meeting.
Yeah, we got to hit up the people that actually do all the work. I should probably
that prepare the stage for you guys. But we're just so very thankful to have you here doing what you do. And please know that we're going to call upon you to join us here on the All of a Sudden show again.
Absolutely. Please
We
do.
so look forward to, and one more time before you all get off air, please tell them about the upcoming event once again, and how they can get tickets, what time it starts, and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. So it's very easy to find tickets. You can go to storytellersmacon.org and you can click the link for the live event. You can go to our Facebook page at Storytellers Macon, and there is an event on there. The event topic is called Stirring the Pot. And there's links to the Douglas Theater, and you can go straight to the douglastheater.org. And you can buy your tickets there, or you can pop into their what is it called? The ticket booth, not ticket booth. You can go to the Douglas most of the day up until like 5 or 6 o'clock, and you can just buy your tickets at the door.
Yes.
That's this.
Box office. It's called the box office.
Not at the door, at the box office.
At the box office. You can go to the box office. So there's a fee if you buy it online, but if you go to the Douglas, it's just give them your $10 and call it a day.
That is so awesome. We are so very appreciative for you guys being here. We thank you so very much, and we want you to join us anytime.
Thank you, Johnny. So it was great to see you.
It was truly a privilege. It's nice to see you again.
My pleasure, DeMarcus. My pleasure, Corin. Y'all have a great meeting.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. We certainly would like to say thank you for all of that wonderful information. And if you are not familiar with Storytellers Macon, please go and seek some information about them. Hopefully today has enlightened you and enhanced your interest. And it is a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful event. And it's just wonderful to take part of. I know a lot of people in this community that are very good at telling stories, and they don't really have the platform, or they need a new audience. Well, you can find a new audience with Storytellers Macon. We're here, 107.9, 980, The Glory. And once again, just want to say we are sending out our prayers to my two co-hosts, Brenda Sutton and Emily Amos, who are not in today. We certainly miss them at the studio. I think what they're doing is getting me back for not being here last week, but I was out of town. And Brenda, we hope, is feeling much, much better today. If there's someone out there that has a topic or subject matter that they want to call in and give us a call and talk to us about, please let us know. Give us a call here. Want to say that, let's see, Macon is my home. I've lived here practically all of my life, with a few years in between that I was away from Macon, but I certainly call this place my home. And it's been very disturbing lately, the level and the volume of crime that we've had in our city. And so we pray that this city is healed. We certainly want peace for everybody in our city. I have, in 2021, certainly witnessed the loss of some of our precious lives to what I would deem to be nonsense. The violence, it has to stop. And the only people that can stop the violence are the people who perpetrate the violence. And I understand that we look for the law, we look for legislation, we look for rules, we look for community leaders, we look for our church community, our pastors, we look for politicians, we look for our parents, but in the end, the only people that can stop the violence are those people who would commit violence. And so my appeal is to those who commit violence. My appeal is not to those today, it's not. Because sometimes we attack people who create a culture, quote unquote, for violence. Sometimes we attack the people who we say elevate the atmosphere for violence. But today, I am speaking to those who actually commit the violent act, who perpetrate the violence. You are the only ones that can actually stop the violence. You have to stop and you have to feel. If you move around in a room numb and you bump into the table, you don't feel the pain. If you walk into a wall and you're numb, you don't feel the pain. So we have to acknowledge feelings, or the ability to feel. So with that in mind, let's make an effort. For those of us who know people who commit or have committed violent acts, let's go talk to them. If you know that they'll talk to you. And let's talk about the pain that it causes. it lasts much longer than the act. The act maybe lasts a second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds. But the pain that is caused can last a person, a family, the friends, an entire community, a lifetime. So let's work on not inflicting lifetimes of pain. It is up to all of us to assume our position and our part in not being violent, not provoking violence, not condoning violence. Let's talk to our friends. Let's talk to our cousins. Let's talk to our brothers. Let's talk to our group members, whatever your group might be. Let's be kinder to one another. And let's remember that we have choices. Whenever I'm in an uncomfortable situation or whenever I'm around something I don't like, if it's a place, person, or thing, I have to remember I have a choice. I can remove myself. I don't have to sit there and go, how much longer do I have to endure that kind of talk or that kind of act? I can just remove myself. It is much better than me being there and being pushed to a violent act. We are all one community here. No matter how you cut it, we're all brothers and sisters. And we should not be harmful to one another. And please know that I am not saying that we don't have disagreements or differences. That is not my talk. My talk is that we have choices. Instead of committing violent acts, let's just make a choice to remove ourselves from committing those things, because many times afterwards we have regret, or what do we say? Man, I wish I hadn't have done that. So let's move to that page in our lives. I always tell people that there's a great difference in intelligence and being smart. For me and my definitions, intelligence is a state of being, and smart is the application of your intelligence. How many times have you heard somebody say, after they've done something, say, man, I knew better than that? For me, that is acknowledgement of your intelligence and evidence that you weren't smart with it. You didn't take the intelligent act, which I deem to be what smart is. So if there's anybody out there that has any thoughts on the violence in our community, or if anybody out there that has any information on some good things that are going on in our community, please give us a call at 478-250-1444. If there's anybody out there that has any information about our pandemic that we're going through. If anybody out there has any job opportunities, because so often we hear that some of the problems in our community stem from the lack of jobs and the like. So if there's somebody out there that has job opportunities, please give us a call right now so we can get that out in the air. Give us a call at 478-250-1444. I'd like to say hello to Sheila Ann Worthy. We see that you're listening. And Daisy Palmer, it was so good to see you. That's my family. And she was celebrating with her friend Callie, her birthday on last night with us. And we had a grand time. Also, I'd like to take this personal moment to acknowledge an upcoming birthday of one of my family members, my aunt, Mattie Pearl Jordan Jones. On November 24th, God willing, she's going to be celebrating her 100th birthday. 100. Now, personally, I don't know many 99-year-old people. And let me tell you, my aunt, I love her so much. I am rather envious because when I go visit her and I'm looking at her and I'm going, man, her skin is so smooth and no wrinkles. And I'm going, geez, what are you eating? What do you do? Give me a regimen. And she's such a beautiful person and never forgets anything. And so what a blessing that she has all of her mental faculties and is so keen. I just love her so. And just recently celebrated and had a chance to celebrate with my Aunt Mildred Holingshed, who is 92 years old and years young. She too has that skin that just goes on forever. I mean, just smooth, and her mind is as good as it's ever been. And those are two of my leaders in my life, my Aunt Mildred and my Aunt Mattie Pearl. I just love those ladies, and so honored to be in their lives. And remember, if any family is listening today, I talked with Kevin's wife today, and we're going to talk later. Kevin Reed's our grandson, Mattie Pearl's grandson, and Sam Reed and Sharon and Jackie, our grandchildren, and there are plans for a celebration for the 100th birthday. So just know that that's happening, and I'm so proud to be a part and be here to thank God for that. We just want to say that on a personal note, thank you for all the prayers for my brother Bruce Holingshed. He's doing okay. He's down in Eastman, Georgia, and at Eastman Healthcare Rehab and Nursing Home. And he always sends his prayers and hellos to everyone. Many of you know my brother Bruce. I still run into people today saying he's the best shortstop that Macon has ever seen. And God knows that I certainly hoped and prayed that he wouldn't have gotten sick and sickness wouldn't have gotten into his path, because I am another one who believes that he certainly would have been a professional baseball player, one of the brightest guys academically that you'll ever meet. I was telling someone, I said, I don't think Bruce ever made anything but A's in school. And I was talking to Bruce about it. And he said, yeah, I heard you were telling people that I never made anything but A's, but I need to correct you. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, I made an A- one time. And I was like, wow, this dude was something else. But we certainly want to say that we send our prayers and best hopes for healing to anybody that's listening, that's out there, that's dealing with a loss of family members. I just participated in homegoing celebration, and I do mean celebration for a friend of mine, Mr. Joseph Hampton. What an awesome guy. What an awesome guy. And it was over, the celebration was at Glorious Hope, and I saw something that I had never seen before at a homegoing celebration, and it touched me so much. They had the normal things of prayer and the welcoming from the minister and the pastor of the church, and then they did the new scripture and the old scripture and songs. I was very honored to be on the program as a vocalist, and my brother Willie Morris was too as well, and he had some of his basketball mates to come speak for him. Mike Arnett, very close to Joe and the family, very close. And Norman Nixon spoke. And Norm Nixon of Southwest fame and Duquesne and the Los Angeles Lakers. And most of you know that his wife is Debbie Allen. And Norm spoke, and he spoke of the tenacity of my friend Joe and his persistence to be better. And he talked about how this Macon, Georgia, this city we live in, for about 8-9 years, the best basketball in the entire country was played here in Macon, Georgia, and that Joe was part of that legacy. But then this happened. It came time for the family to address. And the ministers said that and expressed that about the program. And then what I saw next touched me in a way I can't really describe, but I'd never seen it before. And it was so beautiful. So the first family member stood up from the pew, Felisa, his sister, and began to sing. And I immediately recognized the song. And she sang the first stanza. And then as she stood, their brother Jay stood, and he stood up and he sang the second stanza of the song. And then all of the brothers and sisters all stood up together and joined in singing the song "One in a Million" by Larry Graham. Absolutely beautiful. What a great expression of love I had this opportunity to see and to witness, to feel. Oh my God, What an awesome feeling. What an awesome expression. What an awesome example. So I tip my hat. I give thanks for the example of love that was certainly illustrated and shown by the Hampton family. I'm getting chills just talking about it now. I have been to so many homegoings. I have such a large family myself, and I've sang at, I can't even count how many homegoings I've sang at or been a pallbearer or something and participated in, but never had I seen for what was for me an expression so beautiful, so much love. And I just say to the Hampton family, just maintain that love in everything. It's going to be all right because love conquers all, because God is love. And what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful expression that I had to witness. I also want to say that there's a Pastor Dexter Anderson and his wife, Mrs. Anderson. In my mind, do so much work in this community that rather goes unnoticed. For years, they did, until the pandemic. They had what was called breaking bread and praise. And so, but with the pandemic, they stopped, but they're still out serving the community, giving away 500 free hot meals. They're going to different ports, different sides of the community, and doing this in this community. I've been doing it for years now. Just wanted to make an acknowledgement of that. Visit them at Anderson's Diner. Visit them at Granny's Country Kitchen at 3045 Harley Bridge Road to get some soul food. The hours of operation at Hartley Bridge Road at Granny's Country Kitchen is Tuesdays through Sunday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Great, great food. And Anderson's Diner, Monday through Sunday from 11 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Go out and visit. And please don't be a person that gets discouraged if you go there on a Sunday and there's a long line. Remember this: if you go to a soul food restaurant on a Sunday and nobody is in line, I suggest you keep driving, because the food obviously is no good. Long lines sometimes represents greatness. So please go out and support them, because they do so much great work out here in the community. And I want to say thank you for listening today. Yes, I'm back out on my national tour, working for Harry Lennox on television.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30.
We miss you, Brenda.
That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.